The knock on the wooden door was soft, yet sharp enough to jolt Emily awake. Her heart raced in the silence of the night. She tiptoed toward the front door of her quiet suburban home, and sure of what waited outside, she pulled the curtain back and froze. An old man stood alone on her porch, his shoulders bent under the weight of years, his gray hair scattered and messy, his trembling hands clutching a faded cap. "Tell us where you're watching from, we'd truly love to know. And if there was a moment in this story that touched your soul, please share it with us in the comments. It would mean the world to us to hear your heart." Emily hesitated, her mind racing with fear and curiosity. She slowly opened the door, and the old man lifted his tired eyes to hers. He whispered, "I am sorry for disturbing you, miss, but I had nowhere else to go." Emily felt torn between kindness and caution. She studied his worn-out flannel shirt, the mud stains on his boots, and the sorrow in his eyes. He looked like a man carrying invisible battles. He asked softly, "Could I sit here just for a while?" Emily nodded reluctantly, placing a chair near the porch. His silence grew heavier each passing second, until finally he muttered, "They all left me one by one. My wife, my boy, my comrades. I have no one now." Emily's heart ached, but fear crept in. Who exactly was he? And why her house tonight had only begun yet? Something told her that what this man carried was more than loneliness. It was a secret too heavy to keep. The second night, the knock returned louder and more desperate. Emily opened the door before he could even knock twice. The old man's face was pale, his eyes filled with a storm. He held something in his trembling hands, a worn-out photograph. His voice cracked as he pushed it toward. "Look, this was my son." She took the picture under the porch light. It showed a young soldier in uniform smiling with pride. Emily felt her breath catch. The resemblance was striking. The old man whispered, "They laughed at him, mocked his scars after the war. They never knew how much he sacrificed the night he left. This picture was the last thing he gave me." Emily felt a chill run down her spine. She saw more than grief in his eyes. She saw guilt and rage. The old man's words stumbled out. "My son never came home. He vanished. They said he deserted, but I know he was silenced. He knew something they wanted buried." Emily felt fear grip her chest. Was this old man unraveling before her eyes? Or was he holding a truth? No one dared to speak. Just as she tried to respond, the old man's body shook. He pointed toward the dark street. "Do you see them?" Emily peered into the shadows, but saw nothing. Still, his voice grew frantic. "They watch me every night, waiting for me to break." Emily's pulse quickened. Was he delusional or in danger? That night, she realized this old man had not chosen her house randomly. He had come with purpose, and Emily had just stepped into his secret war. On the third night, Emily sat waiting, lights dimmed, heart pounding. When the knock came, she opened the door and found the old man barely standing. His breathing was ragged, his eyes red from tears. He held a folded letter, sealed and worn. He placed it in her hand. "Please," he whispered, "if they take me, read this aloud. Tell them the truth." Emily's fingers shook as she opened it. Inside were words, scribbled in haste, a confession of names, dates, and betrayals, a testimony about soldiers silenced for speaking the truth about their commanders. She gasped, realizing this was not just an old man's grief, but evidence that could destroy reputations. Suddenly, headlights swept across her driveway. 3 black SUVs rolled to a stop. Men in dark suits stepped out, moving fast. The old man gripped her arm with surprising strength. "Promise me you will not let them bury my son twice." Emily's heart thundered. She hid the letter against her chest. As the men approached, demanding the old man come with them, he straightened his back. For the first time in years, his voice rang with fragile defiance. "I may be old, but my boy's truth lives here." The men grabbed him, dragging him away, while Emily stood frozen, clutching the secret that could change everything. The old man turned his head. One last time, his eyes locked with hers, carrying sorrow and trust. Then he was gone, swallowed by the night. Emily looked down at the letter, tears streaming. She realized she was now the keeper of a legacy, a burden heavy enough to shatter lives. The old man's truth had become her own, and nothing would ever be the same again.